Hello, I had to do an update, which sounds really weird. An update on an old camera. Here it is, an Nikon D700. I made a few videos about this camera, and well, you know, my favorite camera is definitely the D810. I would never part with. I got a pair of these Nikon D700s, and I'd made a few videos about it, especially within a certain budget range. I also mentioned, countless other videos about budget ranges of certain Nikon DSLRs, which you should purchase. What sort of shooting are you doing? If you don't give a damn about video, like I do. I've got 3-chip pro camcorders for that, so I'm not interested in video on my DSLRs, which this does not do. And you want something that produces an image like no other Nikon, and it does. It's the same sensor in the Nikon D3. Which, by the way, there's always been a mystery around that. I want to actually clear that up. A lot of people have speculated. The sensor is specifically designed by Nikon, but Nikon, of course, has no semiconductor chip plant that they have. They outsource their stuff, and it's the Nikon. The sensor is the NC81338L, and the sensor is made by Matsushita, which you would know better as Panasonic. So the sensor in the D700. And you can say it's Matsushita. It's essentially a Panasonic sensor. So that's what's in the Nikon D700. But I recently, within the past few weeks, received, it's like a flood. What do I consider a flood? At least like 20 or more people. They're like, oh my god, I've owned a few Nikons, and I took your word on buying this old camera, which isn't made anymore. You're like, they sent me pictures, and they're just like, oh, thank you, man. This thing makes pictures like nothing else. And it's like, I told you, you just go to Google and do a Google search on D700 image samples. And yeah, it's a 12 megapixel sensor, but you can still blow up beautiful, drop dead gorgeous 20 by 30 pictures out of the D700. It's no slacker. It's a tank. It is just heavy as hell. It's all made in Japan. And unfortunately, I had a few people that want me to find one for them, but since I flapped my lips so much about one of Nikon's secret gems, the price on these damn cameras has gone through the damn roof on eBay. And we're going for like $650, $700. Now all these people have turned into crazy crackheads on eBay, and they're listing them at just outrageous prices, and people are paying it. And another photographer, and he made a video. And he said it's his favorite. He bought it off my recommendation. He made a video saying it was his favorite Nikon camera, but he doesn't shoot much digital. But he made that video. But I didn't think it'd have that large of an impact. Obviously, I'm not an old dinosaur. I'm certainly all about technology. I don't need a flippy screen. That doesn't mean I don't love my Nikon D750. I've been shooting with it a lot recently, but I got by with that fine for 25 years. I don't need a flip screen. I sure as hell don't need Wi-Fi. I can pack my MacBook Air with me, and it's a whole lot easier to slip in an SD card and use my hotspot connection to Wi-Fi to send somebody a picture, a high-resolution picture, than trying to send it, to my iPhone. A low-res picture to my iPhone. And it's just ridiculous. So I have no need for those features. They are handy for some things, but they are BS gadgetdom. They are. I do know the advantage of a flip screen, obviously so, on the D750. It's great for getting down and taking a macro shot like this, or doing one of these numbers at a way. Do I need it? No, I don't. Is it handy? Yeah, not really. Some people might find it more handy than others, but, I don't need all that stuff. Some other video makers and tubers were talking about, you need to embrace the technology. It's about the technology. It's not. It's about the skills. You got to have the skills. To be a whore at technology is like someone is saying they can't navigate in the woods unless they got a GPS in their pocket. Well, what happens if the battery dies? How about you have some innate skills to know that moss only grows on a certain side of the trees, or the sun sets in a certain direction? You need to have innate skills. The same is true of photography. Technology is great, Had embraced some sort of technological advance that would find a cure for cancer. I've got 7 or 8 computers, and I've got more hard drives than anybody you've ever met in your life. I mean, I got over 200 hard drives. So some of these, some of these idiots that have called me anti-technology, I mean, it's just BS. I'm not anti-technology, but I'm more interested in the skills. But the main point of this video was the update on the D700, and all of you people that bought one, they were able to find one at a decent price. You just responding back and you're posting all these pictures like, man, I'm so happy. My camera is just a cat's, like what you call the cat's ass. And some people are upset because they want to find one, and now the prices have skyrocketed. But there is nothing else that produces an image like the D700. Even though my favorite camera, it's a toss-up, D810 versus D7100, D750. I love all three of them. I love the D750's buffer. I do love its flip screen. I don't need it, but I've used it a couple times. I find it handy. That doesn't mean I was jonesing for a flip screen on my camera, but that also doesn't mean I'm anti-technology either, obviously so. I just don't need it. There are 1,000 things in our lives. I mean, some of the BS, a lot of the BS we have in our lives, we don't need that crap, you get by without it. Does it make life simpler? Sometimes it does. So a lot of times it's a hindrance, and it's just something else to break down. So I'm glad so many people, actually I had not a single negative response from anybody that bought this camera off my recommendation, and there have been so many recently. There have been quite a few over the past couple months, but all of a sudden there's been like a flood of people who bought this Nikon D700. Other people out there scoffing, like, oh man, it's got no video, and it's a 12 megapixel camera, 12.1. It's like, why would you be recommending that thing, dude? And then there's the other people that actually bought it and like, oh crap, this is awesome. It does produce unique portrait shots too, especially if you're a portrait photographer. It's got a richness and a contrast to it. Now some of that can be added in post, obviously, but it's got a unique image richness and color saturation that no other Nikon has. Not a single one. And same one in the same sensor in the D3, by the way. All the rendition is slightly different, but that's due to after imaging processing. Yes, and obviously not just the image sensor, as I've stated many times, that produces the image. So this is a shout out to all you D700 owners that are so happy, and it's been literally a 100% positive feedback that the people that actually risked it and bought this old camera with no video capabilities and only 12 megapixels, and you're just so ecstatically happy. Like I said, the downside to that is that eBay prices has skyrocketed on this camera. Not a good thing, because I've been trying to find a couple for some folks that want one. Not that I'm going to resell it to them, I'm just trying to find them one, and I can't because of my own flapping lips. Maybe I should have kept my mouth silent, but I had to put it out there. But the good thing is that everybody that bought one was ecstatically happy. More than ecstatically happy. Thanks for watching. Catch you all later.